Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. It is one of our monthly features. This week, we go over the top 10 decks on the Infinite Leaderboard last season. This is what the top 10 players in Marvel Snaps were playing throughout all of the March season, and I'm going to make a bunch of predictions over what is going to be good in April, i.e., I almost always hit on 3 or 4 of these decks, and we have a massive amount of decks for you that still work today. So this is the top 10 decks, and we begin with just going over who they are. We're actually doing 11 today because the number 3 player is named Tobishi, and I cannot find a single player, and I know a lot of Marvel Snap players, I cannot find a single player who has ever even played against Tobishi. So unfortunately, we are going to do every deck but Tobishi. We have Zenade, a player in the Husky Discord, really, really great player, very nice person. At number 11, we have BBAK, former number 1 player. At number 10, Nagaul, I spelled it wrong. It's Nagaul. It's pronounced Nagaul, but it's spelled Nagaul. In the number 9 spot in the Vietnamese meta, we got Heart of the Cards, our new streamer in the sorry, it's 95 like 64. 94, sorry, 64 or something like that. For Heart of the Cards, a surfer main who just started streaming, awesome person, go check him out. Hanifer, number 2 several seasons ago, number 7 this season. Salty, first time this high, member of our Discord, really, really nice person. Salty played some decks we featured here on the channel at number 6. Our old friend, former Patreon standout, JD McDonaldinho at number 5, another streamer. Cougar, soon to be a streamer at number 4. Tobishi, again, we talked about Tobishi, no idea who that is. Derek in number 2, and Cizer number 1. That is the exact same as last month. Let's go, but first, let me ask you to hit that sub button if you're willing to. We are about 120 away from hitting 20,000, and we need your support to get there. Help us get over this last little bit by hitting that sub button. In return, we're going to give you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos, at least 7 days a week. Sometimes we do 2 videos a day. Pretty sure we'll be doing around 9 videos this coming week. Make sure you're here. Make sure you're ready. Hit that sub, hit that like, hit that comment. It would mean the absolute world to us if you gave us that extra support. Now, number 11 is Zenade. It's he's now a Husky Puppy. A bunch of top players renamed themselves Husky Puppy with different numbers. I only really remember Husky Puppy 69 is Roram. Zenade is one of the Husky Puppies now. But he is Zenade. He is on the America server. He played 3 lists. Let's look at them. First, he played this Scream list. This is a fairly non-standard Scream list. This is, in fact, Scream Connoisseur's list. It is that style of list. It is very, very effective in that it has the sort of surprise leading Death Strike to take out opponents, which works really well with Uncle Ben. You also obviously just have the regular Scream package. The regular Scream package being extremely good for both Clog and taking out opponents. This is very close to the deck I hit Infinite with this season, which we'll talk about in tomorrow's video. But for the time being, what you really need to know is this is a very strong and very consistent list. It runs a lot of control, while Scream is an absolute game winner. So you gotta love it. Scream is going to be all over this list. It's one of the best cards in the game. Next up, we have the Heart Surfer. This is one of the Heart of the Cards lists that Zenade played. It is a Surfer list. Low ball Surfer seems to be the most successful high infinite versions of Surfer, the ones that sort of just run Galacta instead of trying to run a bunch of extra cute stuff. This is a fairly simple version of that. This is the one that Cam featured for a little while with Iron Patriot and Sam Wilson, and it was, again, very effective. It uses Hope to try and get 2 3s out on turn 5 and then 2 3s on turn 6, and it should be able to win from there. Cosmo is very, very strong in this too. This one is a really strong list. And then finally, Zenade is one of the 2 creators of the double Sauron list that has been all over the metagame for the last little bit. This is one of the better lists right now. We covered it in Friday's video as one of the top 10 decks in Marvel Snap, so this one isn't going anywhere. It is still really, really strong into the current meta, although sometimes Shang is replaced with Enchantress in those instances. What you are fundamentally doing here is you want to get like Sunspot down, and then you want to make sure you play Sauron, and then if you play Moon Girl, ideally with a Black Swan on the board, you can skip a turn, play things like double free She-Hulk, Starbrand or 2 Starbrands, and then a bunch of powerful ones. And that's just backbreakingly powerful. You put out insane amounts of power with this list. This is the last of it, and this is the one that Zenade used for most of the rest of the climb, like into the very, very top of this list. He was floating around like the top 30, and then this list pulled to 17 and then to 13. This list is, again, a huge surprise list that, unless you watch these videos, you're going to be able to sneak up on people with. Number 10, we have BBAK. BBAK was number 3 last season. He was number 1 last February. He's been number 2, I don't know, around June or July of this past year. Phenomenal Marvel Snap player on the Asia server. BBAK played 1 deck. Literally sat down at the start of the season, hit Infinite with one deck, stayed playing one deck, ended up falling in love with, I believe, the Bazaar, and only playing a bit of Marvel Snap. But BBK is one of the best Thanos players in the world and was able to finish at number one with this Thanos list. This is a reasonably simple Thanos list. The only card in here that's remotely a surprise to me is Kate Bishop. I'm not good enough at managing hand size to run Kate Bishop in this type of list, but it's basically the current Thanos list that are running a lot of control pieces and then using like the cheap power of Thanos, Mockingbird, so on to slam the door. Really cool list, but very, very straightforward. We're going to see, oh no, another version of this later. I think I actually foolishly put it in my what'll be good next season because I think BBK is the only person on this list who's playing this style of Thanos. From there, we have Nagaul. We've featured Nagaul's deck. You can find Nagaul. He doesn't stream, but he does occasionally stream on our friend Min's. Remember the homie Min? On our friend Min's Twitch, twitch.tv/Rito in disguise. This is another Asia server player for you to check out. So Nagaul played this list that you should have seen when we featured it because a few days after we featured it, this was absolutely everywhere. It is not as good right now in the meta, so I don't super urge you to play it. It is very shut down by both Mobius and Mobius and by ongoing hate. So there's a lot of Enchantress and Super Scroll around right now. That's not great for this. There's a lot of Mobius right now. There's not that's not great for this. Your like main goal here was to get Ravonna with Moonstone or use that or Anti-Venom or Magic to have these giant combo Iron Man Gore turns that were just like lane and game winners. That is significantly harder to do right now. So this list had its absolute moment in the sun. It flew up to rank 2 for Nagaul before it fell off a little bit, but he still ended up in the top 10. So props for an absolutely amazing, amazing showing. Next up, we went Heart of the Cards. Heart of the Cards is now streaming. We're going to send Heart of the Cards a mic. I don't think he knows that, but we got to get Heart of the Cards set up with a decent mic because his content is great and his gameplay is through the roof. This is a Surfer main, so we're going to look at some Surfer lists from this America's Server player. Heart of the Cards is a really great person, a member of Rum's Pixel Enjoyer group. So the first, we have the beginning of the season Surfer pre all the nerfs. We also saw a very similar list to this from our number 11 player Zenade. So this is the Heart of the Cards list. This is what he made. This is what he plays. Now, what he ended the season with, what he's still playing now, what I think is right now one of the very best decks in the game, is this deck that we're going to refer to as Lowball Surfer. This is, well, that he refers to as Lowball Surfer. This one is like cheating. It doesn't even bother with Hope Summers. It's about as cheap a powerful deck as you can get, assuming you buy the damn season passes. This one puts out crazy, crazy amounts of power in very, very unpredictable ways. As long as you see Galacta or Surfer, you have game-winning power for this list. So go check it out. This is, again, just massively strong. Hanifer, number 2, about 2 or 3 seasons ago, the Victoria Hand season, so January, is now still doing really, really great work in Marvel Snap and is still a really, really great player. Near the top of the Infinite Leaderboard. He had actually fallen off for the first half of the season and then made a climb toward the end, largely with the Bullseye deck. As soon as Khonshu came out, he was playing the Khonshu list for a lot of time and had a huge climb with that Khonshu list. And then toward the middle of the week, as this list started being countered, because everyone started running like Mobius and Gorgon to really mess with this, he moved on to Arishthanos. Yes, this Arishthanos list you've seen everywhere, attributed to a million different people, is in fact a Hanifer list. It's a Hanifer original. This is Arishthanos and every damn control card in the game, it feels like. It's got some early scalers and a bunch of control, and it works that way to win. Props again to Hanifer for showing up that high. Speaking of props, Salty, who's never been close to this high, finishes at number 6. What an amazing showing. Salty is on the EU server and an absolute beast of a Marvel Snap player. Salty played 2 main decks, kicking the season off with the Agamotto. This is an Agamotto-free mid-range deck. This is basically where everyone ended up. Almost all the top players ended up cutting Agamotto from these lists and playing just a more straightforward version. I think that this deck right now in the meta probably needs Mobius, but outside of that, I think this one absolutely sings. This is a killer list that just steals cubes. Juggernaut is a beast. Don't cut Juggernaut. Like, a lot of what this deck does is it says I run sort of the best cards. Like Zabu's one of the best 1-drops. Iron Patriot and Sam are basically the best 2-drops. Juggernaut and Red Guard and Wrecking Root are the best 3-drops. Galacta and Gwenpool and Chong are the best 4-drops. You have all the best cards, you win a lot of games of Marvel Snap. That's what Salty says here, and that's what this deck does here. Next up, we have the classic Scream. This is what, after everyone started knowing this list, and after this list stopped working as well, he moved on to the literal classic, like, look, it's the exact main Scream list. This exact main Scream list ended up being a killer. It ended up getting him all the way to rank 6 from around rank like 12. This one just kept climbing. Like this and the Bullseye list, I think, are the best lists in the game. The Bullseye list, I think the non-Khonshu version is a little better, despite what Hanifer played. But either way, these lists are absolutely top notch. I think those are the two lists that, if you're just looking to climb, are the easiest and best to play. Then we have JD McDonaldinho, our old friend from Scotland. You can find on twitch.tv/JD McDonaldinho. He's on the EU server, obviously. Phenomenal player. Finally decided to grind ladder and not conquest, and finished at rank 5, not rank 4, but climbed all the way, I believe, to rank 2 with this list. You've probably seen this. There are versions that run lots of different cards. There's versions that cut Hydra Bob for Nebula. There's versions that cut Hydra Bob for Zabu. There's versions that run Captain Marvel. There's versions that run Galacta. Lots of people don't have Makari, so they cut Makari for Gladiator. There's different versions of this. Doesn't matter. McDonaldinho's version never changed. He started with this, he ended with this, he climbed with this. This list is still sick. It's still incredibly powerful. It still has a million good matchups where other decks really can suffer. This seems like a forgotten deck right now, but it shouldn't be. It's still very, very strong. Perhaps now Shang might want to be Enchantress for all the ongoing stuff happening this week, but as the month goes on, I would be a little surprised if that remained the case. Next up, we've got Cougar. You can find Cougar at twitch.tv/Cougar, 2 O's, 3 R's. He's not streaming yet, but he should be within the next month or so make sure you check out our friend. He played a ton of different decks, so get ready for the top-ranked America's server player of this season. Also, serious thought, a lot of people call this the NA server. South America's in the server, so it's definitely not the NA server. It's not the North America server. It's the America's server. Let's get it right, friends. All right, so Cougar started the season at number 1 with this Victoria hand list. This one still has a reasonably high win rate, even though no one plays it. Part of the reason this did so well is we had the 6 cost cards cost 1 less at the beginning of the season, which is incredible for Isan, and incredible for Valentina. But even outside of that, this is a very strong list. I think this probably shouldn't have disappeared as much as it has. This is probably as where Black Knight wants to be right now in the metagame. From there, Cougar fell a bunch and then climbed back to rank 4. I wrote hella because I don't know how to write words sometimes. This is a Mr. Negative list. This is like the bog standard Mr. Negative. The Cougar version is like a take on the QWERTY version that was all over the place for a while. This is Cougar's version of Negative, or Cougar's slight alteration of that deck that he ended up climbing back to rank 4 with a spot he floated sort of up and around the rest of the season. From there, we have Shockwolf. This one might have been actually a little bit before the Negative. It's hard to remember exactly what order they happened. Actually, nope. A little bit after. Look at that. It's when I made the list. That's pretty good. We did feature this. I think this list is really cool. This is fairly similar to the Nagaul list, if you remember the Nagaul list from rank 9, except it runs Werewolf by Night as just like, why the hell would you not run Werewolf by Night as an extra power card? It's a really cool idea. Nagaul's goes further into the clog using things like Green Goblin, but both versions are very, very strong. Again, this is not a deck for right now with all over the place. The cards, both Mobius and Enchantress, really bad for this. Next up, he played a Surfer list. This is just, again, a fairly standard Surfer. This one goes in with an extra 4, right? Instead of just Galacta, we've actually got Absorbman to copy Brood or Surfer largely, but we've also got the Killmonger Nova thing, which is really good. It was also an especially good combination of things with Gorgon. This is around Firehair Week. I made this a little late, but this is still a very strong list. From there, we've got the Bullseye Surfer that he built. We've got these two. The Bullseye Surfer is very, very strong. There's a play pattern that goes, you go Dokken, you frig a Dokken, you play second Dokken and Grandmaster. You play Bullseye, then you play Grandmaster and Dokken. You now have 2 Dokkens and 3 shards. If you trigger Bullseye, you got 32 power, plus you discard a 3 charge, so 38 power out of the play. That's pretty good. You can do similar completely stupid things with Galacta and Dokken, where you can go, especially if you can get out some extra energy with Luna, you can go Galacta into Dokken. That's a 7 power Dokken. If you get a second copy of that, you're just putting crazy power. But even one discard at that point is giving you a 14 power card, which is very strong. If you have extra energy, you don't have to discard it. You can end up playing Nova Sorry, you can end up playing Killmonger and just playing the damn shards, and that's even better if you Nova. So there's a lot to like. I absolutely, absolutely love this list. I don't know what to tell you. This one's crazy good. I didn't like this one as much, but this one had a massive amount of success. This is Jimmy Dickens' Screw You Surfing. This one is pretty simple in that it says Diamondback and Ajax are both very, very strong. Diamondback happens to cost 3, so I can run some shenanigans to try and get them out early. Diamondback and Luke go well together. Diamondback goes pretty well with Rocket Groot and Red Guardian, and then you just have all these different combos. Obviously, we keep Galacta, but now we have 5 drops, so Luna makes sense in order to get out Ajax, and Luna makes sense in order to get out Sarah. And we have this whole like double combo deck, much like the Cougar deck is a double combo deck. It can win just by doing Surfer things, right? This can win just by doing Surfer things, but it also has this extra upside play of doing all this extra negative shenanigan nonsense. Super cool list. Hopefully you check these out. Everything here is linked in the description of the video, by the way. From there, he went to the Bullseye deck. I know, you're shocked. It's the Bullseye deck. I don't know. It's really, really good. And again, it and Scream, I think, are just the class of the metagame right now for as far as most players and what they're capable of playing. Finally, Cougar would like me to let everyone know that one of the best ways to climb right now is to use the hot location. This is a Valley of the Hand deck, i.e., Cougar played this during the Valley of the Hand hot location, where you could use Misery or Venom to get extra broods or extra Gwenpool triggers, which are incredibly, incredibly strong. There's a lot of stuff like that. If you can find the right brew during a hot location, you can climb really high in the Infinite Leaderboard or hit Infinite. So make sure that you're paying attention to these hot locations as a way to climb. This one, again, right? Like you go Cassandra Nova into Gwenpool into Venom or Misery, and now you've just got 8 million triggers, but the cards come back because of Valley of the Hand, and you've just got all this like easy way to climb. That kind of thing is absolutely huge, and I cannot urge you to give it a try enough. Tobishi is a mystery. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I asked everyone on every continent I could find, and I know probably more Marvel Snap players than anyone, and I literally could not find this person. I could not find anyone who played this person. If anyone knows of them, please do let me know. If you are that person, please do comment. It would mean a lot. Derek is number 1 on the EU server. Sorry, Derek is number 2 on the EU server and number 2 overall. He's currently rank 2 this season now to a different player, but this is Derek's Pixie Wolf, which he started the season with. This is, again, the same basic concept that we've seen like 5 different times. This is similar to the Cougar list. Again, not a deck you really want to play right now, but still very powerful when it works out. This one uses Pixie instead of using Magic, but same basic concept. Derek also has the Firehair list. We have, oh, I had to make the second one later. This one started out as a Darkhawk list. Derek actually climbed to number 1 and stuck at number 1 for a few weeks using this list. It ended up being very strong, but it's like super meta specific. This one was really good into the Firehair meta, and without Firehair everywhere, it's nowhere near as good. But still, a lot of power here, even if, again, Mobius is sort of a nightmare for this list. Derek later on in the season played this version of the list that didn't end up using any death or any other nonsense. It keeps Darkhawk, in fact, which is a little bit of a surprise. This one almost feels like a jet deck. Like if you just change one card for Phoenix Force, you're on a jet deck all of a sudden. But yeah, we're just using Misery and Lady Deathstrike as ways to trigger Firehair. You don't have to hit it every game, but when you do hit it, it's incredibly strong, is basically the logic here. You're not doing any doubling of Victoria Hand nonsense. You just get a couple demons, and 8 power demons are enough. Buffing the Kate cards a little bit is enough. And you have a giant Darkhawk, and you can kill all their stuff with Lady Deathstrike and so on. Very cool combo deck. Really enjoy this one. Then, the last thing Derek played, he actually was playing this as he fell out of number 1. His big fall from number 1 happened largely during a hot location that he apparently didn't prep properly for. But this is sort of, how do I put this? This is an evolution of the Agamotto decks. The Agamotto decks are very strong and very consistent, but this is like where they ended up, where you basically just say, all right, forget Agamotto, let's run a little bit of tech, Cannonball in this case, and we can just scale a bunch of power. This one plays a lot like a double kitty deck, where if you can make a big kitty using your Elsa and Galacta, you can copy with Frigga, and then you just have like two 12 in power. 2 power cards, which is like 24 power for 2 energy. That's usually pretty good. You can drop that on like a turn 7 with an Iron Man or a Cannonball, and it basically guarantees a win. I loved this list. I had an absolute blast playing it. I don't really like Magic, but everything else about this list absolutely sings. And then finally, Derek The Season Passler, Cam has credited him a million times. The deck that became known as the Season Passler was a Derek list. He didn't play much of it, though. By the end of the season, what he actually played was this, which is basically saying everyone's running threes and fours. Magneto's going to win me a lot of games. Outside of that, it is fundamentally the Season Passler, right? We're not running Iron Patriot after his nerf. We're instead using Hope Summers and Kitty as an extra bit of ramp, but it's the same basic concept as that deck. A little bit of control, a lot of power, go to town. Hey, I'll be streaming all day today at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Please stop by and hang out. Hit that follow and ring that bell, and I'll see you on stream. We're going to test a bunch of these decks and a bunch more stuff. So come hang out. We're going to do viewer battles. People who beat me will be put into a giveaway to win a season pass. Our season pass question, we are giving away a season pass on this video. We would usually do winners here, but I'm recording this live on Twitch, and I don't want to show everyone's information on Twitch, so I'm going to make a community post right here on YouTube. So all you have to do is pay attention to the YouTube community posts today, and I will make sure to announce 5 season pass winners, so make sure you're there for that. The simple question, though, is what would make ranked ladder better? What, to you, would make ranked ladder a place that is more worth grinding, more worth playing, more fun, etc.? Our number one player, once more, 7 times now, I believe, is Cizer. Cizer would like it known, he specifically told me this, that only 33% of his games were played with move decks this season, which is accurate. I have his untapped info, although like half the community has his untapped info. But only 1/3 of his games were move decks. He did climb into number 1, however, with move bounce. Move bounce is what got him to number 1. He might have been number 2 without move, but yeah. There we go. He started the season with this Agamotto list. This one actually I think is fairly interesting, and for a strange reason, this one looks a lot to me, like the Derek list, right? The list Derek ended up with. Derek started in a different place, and by the end of the season, he ended up moving to a fairly similar place to Cizer. So that's pretty cool. To where Cizer started. It's always interesting to me when 2 of the top players think alike like that. Then we have Cizer Thors. Cizer had a sick win rate with this. He only played it for that first week, but the win rate on this was insane. Invisible Woman was incredible in this list. It basically let you win all the mirrors because the first day everyone was playing a million Firehair decks. Firehair was such a big popular buy that everyone was playing it constantly. It was like this big winning powerful deck. My food is on its way. Awesome. It was this big winning powerful deck, and then Invisible Woman said, I can Shang you and you can't stop it. I can avoid your Shang and you can't stop it. That kind of thing. It was just super cool. Very, very good stuff. The Firehair deck that Cizer played longer was this one. This is actually the Firehair deck. It's like 1 card off what we started with, which I think is pretty cool. He played this one a lot. Nope, 2 cards off, right? It's running Armor over something, and it's running Rock Slide over Anti-Venom. So, but this was our original list and with some Cizer tweaks, which is again very cool. You love to see it. This list is very good, very consistent. It's super hard to play though. So, get ready to like lose some games as you learn what all the different combos it has. From there, we've got Cizer's 2 move lists. First, we've got Craven as the biggest. Basically, Cizer's decided to test for Hydra Stomper and put Craven in the list. And then Craven kept being bigger than Dagger. And Craven is absolutely excellent in this list. So here we go. This is crazy strong. The trick to playing it, and we've covered this deck a million times at this point because Cizer's been on top for so long. The trick is to play everything mid and left, and then on turn 5 you play Cloak on the right, and you let your opponent guess what you're moving or not, and you Allieth or Heimdall and guess which you have, and it's really hard to beat. This was one of my best decks of last season. Finally, oh no, because Cizer played a deck after this. Cizer created this Thanos list. This one uses Luna instead of using Wiccan. It is otherwise the same basic concept. We also have a Loki here. This one's trying to win mirrors through Gorgon. It's trying to stop mirrors through Mobius, and otherwise the same concept. Agamotto, though, pretty cool, right? You love to see Agamotto in a deck, or at least I do. I think Agamotto is a blast, even if he's not incredible. I don't want him to disappear, everybody. All right, finally, we have Move Bounce. This is the list that Cizer had a 65% win rate in a million games and ended up finishing number 1 with, more than anything else. He did have like a 60% win rate basically with everything, but this was the very best list he played. It remains insane that it took so long to figure out that Hulkbuster belongs here, because you can Hulkbuster a Human Torch, Vulture, or Dagger on turn 5, and then you can Frigate all on the same turn, which is an amazing way at getting just an extra powerful card that can win you the game. That, like, basically what Hulkbuster and Frigg are in this list for are the what do you do if you only see one of your move cards, right? Because you've got Human Torch, Dagger, and Voltrain. If you see two of them, you win a lot. If you only see one of them, though, it can be really hard to win. So you've got Frigga and Hulkbuster, and those two cards really, 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 really help. We are not doing giveaway winners right now. I want to once again reiterate there will be a community post right here on YouTube today, as of this video going live, that has giveaway winners. The giveaway winners are going to contact me the ways on the screen. I'm really sorry it's not in the video. I don't want to show my whole Twitch, all your stuff in that way. It feels really weird to show like all of my comments that way. So I will have that to you today still, I promise. All right, top 5 decks to watch in April, and I messed up on one. I'm just going to tell you what it is and how I messed up. So A, we have Sauron Red Skull from Alexander Isaac. In apparently our friend Alex made the deck. You can find him on Twitch at that name. Made the Sauron Red Skull deck that it will be very hard to imagine for me to imagine at the end of the season if that's not one of the top 10 decks. We have the Kahori midrange, which isn't super dissimilar from the other lists, but I think it is a really strong midrange list that's worth looking at. We've got Scream 10s, a list from me that I'll show you what that means. We've got small good cards. I've seen multiple good versions of this. We're going to look at the Shuri Enjoyer version. I think that it's ready to rise to the top again. And then we've got Thanos. I'm showing you the Zunes list. I should have shown you the Derek list. The Zunes list is too similar to the lists that are already on this. Sorry about that. If you would like to see the Derek list, I covered it in my top 10 decks on Friday, and then on Saturday, KM did a video on it if you're interested. All right, so we only hit on 3 of the 5 we picked last season, but we hit on all 5 the season before. Mill, I thought would be great because of Firehair, and it wasn't. And then I thought Zoo would stick around, but Firehair fundamentally chased away Zoo, and then Zoo never really came back. All right, so we've got Sauron 10 power ranked. This is, again, Alexander Isaac's deck, card for card. I personally would prefer Juggernaut or Shang to Surtur, but this list is one of the best win rates in the game right now, and a bunch of people are hitting Infinite with it, so feel free to give it a try if you just want a top and powerful list. Kafori is our next list. My big innovation here, I don't think people are going to be very far off me. I'm also going to do a full guide on this probably on Tuesday because I do like this a lot, is Grandmaster. I think Grandmaster is going to be incredible here. Because even if on turn 1-2 I go Zabu into Grandmaster, yeah, that seems really strong in this list. But the other thing I want to do at Grandmaster is I can hit Gwenpool or Kahori. If I can hit Gwenpool or Kahori with Grandmaster, I feel like I'm ridiculously ahead. And I should be able to like snap that fairly aggressively, right? Like imagine I go Gwenpool and then I go Copycat or Mobius and Grandmaster, turn 4 and 5, or Kahori, and then I go Mobius and Grandmaster. Yeah, let's go. That seems insanely strong to me. I think that that's going to be the new innovation here, and I do think that this list is going to be sick. This is again from me, Pulse Glazer. That's my Twitch name, by the way, if you want to come hang out later. All right, so last season before, we had 2 seasons ago, we had this tens deck for Scream that ran Surtur also. So I think Hydra Stomper just basically goes in that deck, and then we add a little bit more move. I ended up making a few changes. I want Miles in this list because I want to open up the last turn of Cannonball and Miles, but I wasn't sure how to get there. I guess I'll just have to live with Hydra Bob Miles being that potential play for the time being, but I can't imagine this list isn't really good. We can run Magneto over Cannonball here just freaking fine. That's where it was before. It was running Magneto and Arrow, and I decided I wanted Juggernaut because I want anything that can move more than one card. If I can move 3 or 4 enemy cards in a turn, that's 3 or 4 power on Hydra Stomper. I think Hydra Stomper is going to be absolutely huge. Hydra Stomper and Scream are going to feel like near unbeatable. Hydra Stomper says anytime you move a card, not anytime you move your own card, and it's just going to be absolutely sick. I'm so excited for that combo. Then we have our Shuri Enjoyer Havoc list. This is basically the standard list. This list very rarely changes. The big difference, this should not have Adam Warlock in it. It should have Nico, excuse me. I missed a card when I was building this. I didn't realize that someone had Adam Warlock in it, but this should have a Nico Minoru in it, not an Adam Warlock. And Super Skrull in this version is replacing Cosmo. That's it. It's the whole difference in the list. It's very strong and very consistent. This list continues to dominate for multiple top players, and everyone forgets about it, and it's still one of the best things to do. Finally, we have Zune's Thanos, and this should be the Derek ongoing Thanos because this one is very similar to the BBAK version and to the Cizer version. Sorry, but I do think Thanos is in a much better place this season than he was last season. Thanos right now is knocking on that tier 1 door. along with Bullseye and Scream. I think if it's not as good, it's close enough to as good. A lot of the people who are running like the mid-range Agamotto shells last season have decided that Thanos shells that are similar enough are just better, and thus it is like literally all over the place, absolutely kicking ass. And that is our list for today. If you're interested in seeing some gameplay outside of me, check out the stream team. Obi is actually off today. He's away. Much love, Obi. But Gregor will be live playing a bunch of decks tomorrow. Please check out Gregor. And don't forget Newman on YouTube with yesterday's stuff. Patreon.com/slash snap judgments is one of the best ways to support the channel if you're willing to do a little bit extra. We give you so many videos. If you are interested, please check it out. Our $10 tier and up comes with on-air thanks. First, this is such an old version of this. Where did this come from? Oh my gosh, we're gonna do Patreon thanks, but you're gonna have to bear with me. That is my really old Patreon thanks that I just didn't want to delete. We're gonna do Patreon thanks right over here, friends. Pretend you saw nothing. First, patron of the month, Fat Nick. Then our friend Abigail Giesen. Thank you to Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc., Iron Frostman, Hota, Navarrete, Thinking Poker, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, and Ryan Wood, Kertix Lee, who is the king of questions, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Perforos, The Goat Seeker, Goatsy, Hallowed, Only Fox, Synth, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger, Prime, Philip Brackfitch, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extra and Skippy G, your rhyming friends, Jessica Gamble, Hi Jess, Mr. Slushdeath, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsi Hoda, Luna Chris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Bricks to Click, Rob Subman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan, Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V, Ren Wrench, Corbin, John Q and Jim McHugh, Cube Town, Yes Stout, Ace Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reels, Cactus Jack, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap to Scissors Joe, Mod Supreme Models, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan, 56, The Fuzzy Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Zodrex, the King of Canada, Denman Falcon, Fopler Newman, Jonesy, Two Tides, The Great Lord the Pirate King Tucker, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for even though I switched it up on you, we still finished this video. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you tomorrow for lovely more Snap Take, or later today on stream. Let's hope. Twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Peace.